The winter sun does not rise very high in northern latitudes. And there's a town in Norway that sits in such a deep valley that for 6 months of the year, the sun doesn't rise high enough to shine on its citizens. So what did they do? They came up with this ingenious plan to install very large mirrors, 450 meters high, on a nearby hill, so that at certain times of the day, the winter sun would reflect off of those mirrors down onto Main Street. Isaiah tells us that the people living in a land of darkness have seen a great light. Light dawns on these Norwegians because they saw something that needed fixing, and they had the right mirrors. Now, Christmas can serve as a sort of mirror for us. And as we look at ourselves through its reflection, we can recognize not only our need for light, but Christmas actually provides the light that we need for rescue. Christmas tells us, friends, that God doesn't stand far off until we get our act together, until we get our lives together, but he enters into the world and into our personal lives with the nevertheless of the gospel, that those walking in darkness have seen, they have beheld a great light. Light dawned upon them. Christmas should be not only joyful and celebratory, but it should be a humbling celebration, because it belittles our claims of self-sufficiency and our attempts at control over the people around us and over life in general. What it tells us is that God himself had to intervene. He had to bring light into the world and illuminate the way of salvation. And so for centuries, people have looked to Jesus, the infant Savior, to illuminate their lives. For 2 millennia, Christians have claimed that in his improbable birth, that a light has dawned, that there is reason for hope. In chapter 8, the one immediately previous, the Israelites looked to the earth. That is, they looked to everything that they could see, everything that was within their physical environment. And they didn't see the resources that they needed for salvation. They saw doom, they saw distress. But in Jesus, we learn that there is a God beyond the earthly boundaries that we see, one who knows your name and cares for you. God himself took up residency in our world to live and eventually die in order to rescue us from our darkness. And so it means, as we turn the corner into the new year, that no matter how bad our world gets, that there is no one without hope.